On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
And all of that. I don't necessarily think it has to backfire, but I definitely know that for some people it does, because it's become like I know there's a better word, but I keep thinking like an act that some people put on, that they want to show themselves as this type of way, but that's not even really what they want. But they want to appear a certain way. My thing is, you could lie to other people, you can lie to yourself, but anytime you're lying, you're going to attract things you don't want. Anytime. If you're like, I don't need a man and I'm independent, but you really want one, you're going to be crying in the corner, talking to your friends at some point, like trying to figure out your life. I think if you're honest about what you want, whether you're quote unquote independent or not, or whatever, traditional or modern, but you're honest about it with yourself and with others, you can get what you want. But if you're putting out one thing as a defense mechanism, you're going to suffer.
No, but our experiences are different, Anton. You can't say
it's not, because dudes are having problems with women across the board. White men are having the same issues with women as black men are having with women. Asian men are having the same issues with women as black men are having with women. Men are having problems with women across the board. It's not just a color issue. Modern women today. Have you ever heard of some of these content creations? Entrepreneur in Cars. They saying the exact same thing as Kevin Samuel. They saying the same thing across the board. So men are having problems with modern women. Please don't make this just a color issue.
So, but what I'm saying, the reason I said that is because you're acting like we had an option, and our experiences are different. So I am going to bring in race. And I think that, if we're going to have to work, we might as well be paid for it.
Work isn't the issue. Ashley, you're missing the issue. Working is not the issue. It's the mentality that comes along with it. The mentality that women have today is different.
It's the mentality that's the issue. But you cannot assume that every working woman has that mentality.
I don't assume. I see. I use my eyes and I look.
Many do, but there's a reason why they do. They have that mentality because they're not being taught that even though you work, even though you're independent financially before you get married, doesn't mean that once you get married that you should be running the show. Like people, the problem is not that they're working. The problem is that they're not being taught. The values are not being carried on from one generation to the other.
It's being promoted. This kind of lifestyle is being promoted. Now, where do we stop? If you want to talk about who's teaching them and who's not, whose fault is that? But at the same time, this is being promoted.
It's the mother's fault. But I live in reality, and it's not going back. It's not going back.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame.
I think so too, Amira. I think so too. But what are you going to do? You're going to force your way of living into our
No. The men that want traditional women, they will find them and they will keep them, and the other women will just die alone. That's all that's going to happen.
And that's the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about. You're contradicting yourself, and it's so easy for you to say that because you don't experience these issues. You yourself said that there are not that many traditional men. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I know you all probably don't think so, but I'm very traditional. I mean, I do work, but I believe in coming home, cooking, taking care of the home. I want to rub your back, rub your feet, get your food ready. I want to follow your lead. I want you to hear what I have to say.
Are you married?
Can I please finish? But I'm going to follow your lead. I believe in that.
Trigger word.
I believe in that. But at the same time, I need a certain type of man. You do not see a lot of men.
What type of man you need, Ashley?
A smart man, a sound man,
a traditional man,
a Christian man that lives the Christian word, somebody who is clear-headed. I look at a man based off of his, I look at him based off of his past, his experiences. And Amira, you don't date American men, so you can't speak for this. You can't sit here and say, oh, they can't get men. Like, no, there are tons of men who would want a woman like myself. Really, I don't have a problem getting men to take me serious.
Stop it, Ash. Don't do it. Don't jump off a bridge, Ash.
I have to look at them and be real. Like, do I want them? And
Ash.
people
Ash.
don't.
Ash.
It's the truth.
Ash.
It's
Oh.
the truth.
Oh,
Amira,
Hold on, y'all.
it's
Simmer
easy.
down. Simmer down.
Amira, it's so easy.
Coming to you. I'm coming to you,
Say
Kay.
that. It's easy.
Kay, I was so proud of you. What the piss going on with your hair? What did you do it?
I was really hot and my afro was hot.
Hey,
And
listen, we talked about this. This is Kay's version of the hoodie.
Oh.
look,
That's
at
Kay's
about
version of the hoodie when she switched that hair up.
between 2 to
Bruh.
5 hours, I start getting really hot and I turned the air conditioner on. I'm hot.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Flashes. All right, Kay, while you talking, go ahead. Has independency backfired on modern women, or do traditional men have to adjust?
I think for some people it has. I think for the people who wear it as like a badge of fronting, if you will, it can backfire because it's like you're doing this act, right? Like if you're genuinely a woman who wants a marriage or wants a relationship, and you also, want to have your stuff together before you enter into this, I don't think that necessarily will backfire. But if you're all like, I don't need a man, but then you really want one, like it's going to backfire in that situation. Because, and I think a lot of people equate like working to, traditional or modern or whatever. But like Ashley said, like, Black women, plenty of women, not just Black women, but plenty of women have been working forever. Like, in this country, in their original countries, whatever, women work hard around the world. My grandma is very traditional, and she worked, while she was married to my grandpa till she retired and all that. She was a nurse, but she still cooked dinner. She still raised, still did all the things. And, I look at that. I look at it like you can absolutely still tend to your family and do all the things that you need to do and work. And I personally, of course, winning the lottery or something would be the goal, but I like my job and I like to work. I like to, contribute. I like to be able to, do things that I love and all of that. I don't necessarily think it has to backfire, but I definitely know that for some people it does, because it's become like I know there's a better word, but I keep thinking like an act that some people put on, that they want to show themselves as this type of way, but that's not even really what they want, but they want to appear a certain way. My thing is, you could lie to other people, you can lie to yourself, but anytime you're lying, you're going to attract things you don't want. Anytime. If you're like, I don't need a man and I'm independent, but you really want one, you're going to be crying in the corner, talking to your friends at some point, like trying to figure out your life. I think if you're honest about what you want, whether you're quote unquote independent or not, or whatever, traditional or modern, but you're honest about it with yourself and with others, you can get what you want. But if you're putting out one thing as a defense mechanism, you're going to suffer.